Hello. Is this thing on? Can you guys hear me okay? I hope you can. It would be very sad if you could. Thank you for your patience. I'm in a new location, as you can see. So, I know I'm in all cap locks. I'm not yelling at you, lol. My work has to be done in it. That's okay. I'm okay for cap locks because then there's no discrepancy in what letters you're using. It does not bother me at all. I'm all I'm all about it. Excuse my slight hiccups. How's everyone? Oh my goodness, this is gonna keep happening. I got lemonade. Hopefully that'll help. How's everyone doing today? On this fine, lovely day in the universe. Also, I saw Jess, you said I took your psychic abilities quiz on the webpage and I totally learned a lot. Thank you for taking the psychic abilities quiz. I appreciate that. It was the what are your psychic abilities, right? That's the quiz that you took? Like, are you clairvoyant, clairaudient, claircognizant? Yes. Okay. Because that one took me a while to come up with because I had to work with I forget the like online software thingy that it allows you to make quizzes like that. I forget what it's called, but you have to have so many answers. So I had to like come up with a set amount of questions and it couldn't just be like one question. I did at least 3 or more questions per ability so that when you guys take the quiz, it's more accurate, if that makes any sense, or at least there's more things to answer to help it tailor whether or not you have those psychic abilities, you know? So, yeah, it was fun to make, but it took a while because I really had to think about, like, how can I ask people questions on what their aptitude or capabilities in um, each psychic ability could be, and then I had to, make sure there was enough questions for it. Because when you're thinking about tests and things like that and aptitude, you can't just ask one question, then if someone says yes to that one question, then be like, "Oh, yeah, you definitely had it." So there's, like, a sliding scale of what you are apt in and what you maybe aren't as where your psychic abilities you don't have as many capabilities in them yet, because your psychic abilities do change. So, if you're watching the replay, you can go, onto metapsychics.com, and under the Extras tab, there's 2 quizzes. There's one, that was made originally, like, within the first couple months that Metapsychics was founded, and that was "Are you a psychic?" Um, no, it's sensitive, psychic, or medium, and then the one that I was excited to make that I did all by myself. It was really fun trying to figure out, like, how to work the software and stuff too and make it look pretty. Um, was the what are your psychic abilities? So of the 6 psychic senses, you can figure out what you have aptitude in and what you may not, at least as of now. So anyways, thank you all for being here. Again, we're just going to be talking about spiritual things, and if you guys would like to purchase a reading, you can do so using the link that is posted or pinned at the very top. So there will be pet psychic readings. I added more mediumship readings this time because everyone seemed really excited about mediumship readings last time. So if you weren't able to purchase one or the timing wasn't right for you financially, whatever, then that is totally, totally cool. So, yeah, I'm sorry if I'm a little like, what is it called? Discombobulated. It's because I am. I moved my office into our bedroom, and our bedroom is under construction in an attempt to make it better before our baby arrives. So just my house is in turmoil and things like that. Not turmoil, just change. So there we are. Just as it was awesome regarding the psychic quiz. And says they opened my eyes and mind to a lot of things. I always wished I was more sensitive and it made me understand I have a lot of sensitivities that I thought everyone had. I feel like that's just how psychic abilities are, honestly. It's where you think, like, what was it? My mom is also a psychic medium. That's how I was able to figure out that I too have abilities and I wasn't just needing to go to like a mental hospital or something. And she used to tell me that before she really embraced her gifts, when people would tell her stories and things like that, like about past loved ones or just things that were going on in their lives, because you have psychic abilities too if you're a medium. So if someone's telling you a story, sometimes you start to get information psychically about that story. Um, and she's like, I thought people just always felt the same way when other people tell them stories about things. She's like, and then I realized that I had mediumship capabilities and psychic capabilities. And I was like, oh, not everyone gets that much information when someone's telling them about their day or a story that they had or past loved one. So I also have one of my mom's friends is she's a theologian, I guess you would say, because she went to theology school. She has like a master's in theology and she's a reverend. But before she knew that she was a medium or started understanding like psychic abilities were a part of her just normal existence, she was known for giving a really good eulogy and no one could figure out why. Isn't that funny? So it's just things like that. Um, Love Darkness is lol. You're lucky you don't have to take a conversation with me. I've been making 0 cents since Sunday. Breaks is just fried. Oh no. Oh, your brain is just fried. Also, I'm sorry. I told you you were love darkness. You were loves darkness. Sorry. I'm afraid of the dark. I would need a nightlight if we were having a conversation. Get it? But anyways, I'm sorry about your cat passing. I apologize. Or I mean, I guess I can't really apologize. That's maybe not the right thing to say. I understand how you feel. And I hope that um your grief, you can understand, is just an extension of your love. It is I did a post a while ago about how grief is just where when love has no place to go. So I'm sure that with time, you will be able to figure out where your love is going to go. Because your love for your kitty is still going to be there. You'll just have to express it and lay it on in other ways. Okay. Oh, Christy says purchasing now. Thank you. Let me see. I don't want to get too far behind on readings if that happens. Excellent. Okay, cool. Also, if people have spiritual questions, like if you are just diving into sorry, I have all of my things over here now, so if it looks like I'm looking for a piece of paper to write on. Um what was I going to say? If you have spiritual questions too, let's try to shimmy those in there. Questions for a psychic, a medium, someone that's been on paranormal investigations. I just got done writing a post for Patreon for life updates. That was like a little bit of a different insight into paranormal investigations that is going to come out I think actually later in May when I've been feeling like drawn to writing things about stuff that catches my eye. The most content creator or like I would still put it as a content creator, not an influencer, because I feel like there's a fine line between content creation and influencer. But I would say the most leaning towards influencery things that I do is probably when I write my life updates on Patreon because it's more about me and less about like picking topics and then sharing them with you type of thing. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna get some paper. But here we go. Um, yeah, ghost hunting, things like that. Questions you might have about spirituality. I had someone in a pet psychic reading the other day really blow me away by asking about um I really like how I have this whole notebook and it's just full of things. Let me see what else I can do. Yeah. I'm trying not to have my belly bump over the microphone because we're at that point where my stomach is entering rooms before me. There's been a couple of times I've opened my refrigerator and my silly 8-month pregnant tummy has been getting hit by opening the refrigerator door. um, but yeah, I will try to keep answering questions too about spiritual stuff. And if there's something that I don't know, I will let you know and we can look it up and talk about it together. Mm-mm. Okay. Logic Lurker. I like your name. Logic Lurker says, "Hey, I finally caught it live. Fingers crossed there may be a message for me from my dad. It was his 90th birthday yesterday too. I'm hoping one day I'll be able to afford to get a reading." Okay, perfect. Let me write that down so I don't forget to. Also, for Logic Lurker and everyone else, today's readings are like mini readings, so they're less expensive than if you were to get a private reading with me, which is why I offer live stream readings. Not only is it a good way to try and connect with all of you on a different level, but it's also a more economical way if you are looking for a reading as well. So, Linda Cardinley, hi Linda. I'm with the twins right now, so busy. Okay, keep your eye on them. Mm, okay. Sorry, I just wanna make sure. Jess, ask me about that question in just a minute. I'm going to do we have 2 readings right now. The first one is Christy, and the second one is going to be Sandra. So we're gonna start with Christy and then move on to Sandra, and then ask me your white light question, just so that I don't forget. Oh, of course, you're welcome. Um, okay, so Christy, I believe that you are Oh, your name is the same. Okay, perfect. So I don't have to do anything like that. Some people's usernames are different. So okay. Let me know if you can't hear me too, because I have this on the opposite side. I'm usually this the other way when I'm doing things. Okay, so Christy says, also thank you, Christy, for purchasing a live reading. And if you see that I'm writing, I am. It's just because it helps me keep my thoughts together. So Christy has a psychic medium reading. And her question is, "Oh, I'm a psychic medium too and would love to hear anything I've purchased and would love to hear anything I've purchased 2 one-on-one readings with you before." Oh, you have? I'm sorry if I don't remember you from our one-on-one readings. Do you have a specific I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at your face on your tiny little like name thingy. Okay, so you don't have any more specific questions, Christy? And also, Christy, were you the person that I talked to once before? I don't know if it was twice, but once before who was just beginning to have like a realization that you were medium, and you specifically said something about how your information comes from the top down. Like when a soul comes to talk to you, you perceive them as being or their energy coming like a download on top of you. And you also asked me if I was gonna do like mediumship like courses or teaching type of things like one-on-one. Is that you or is that completely someone else? Okay, so you do see them in your head. You might have been this might be someone else I was talking. Oh, it was you. Okay. All right, got it. Cuz I remember we had one reading. I didn't remember if we had two, but I remember that one reading. And you were wanting to move out of the state that you were living in. I'm not gonna say it on the internet because people don't need to know where you live, but you were thinking about moving out of the state that you were living in. Okay, so Christy says, "I see them in person, but I get scared a bit. I come from a religious background." That is totally okay. There are still things, like, in the spiritual community that people talk about very nonchalantly that sort of freaks me out too, and I'm not even necessarily religious. Um, like I'm reading this book from Mediumship Circle and it started talking about like self, what was it? I don't even There was something about like self what is it? Possession? And I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I even want to read this part of the book. I don't know what that means." I just read like the heading of it and it made me feel a little uncomfortable, but that's just me. Okay, so Christy, do you have is there like a grandfather who you've been talking to in spirit or a grandfather He's definitely in heaven, but he's an older man. I feel like he's a grandfather and he's stepping forward. That's why I asked if perhaps you have a specific question because he's here to answer it. Or if you've been asking him questions. Yes, I see all my past relatives. Girl, I wish I could see all of my past relatives like that. Um, so I feel like he would have been. Do you have 2 grandfathers? One who may have walked with a cane, but my grandparents are super prominent. My mother has passed and never likes to come through. Oh, okay. Um, okay, you say yes, all grandparents are passed. Because there's one grandfather who steps forward. He says that you've been having more questions lately, but he has a more reserved, staunch, sort of, maybe more religious approach to the situation. However, he's not going to not answer any questions that you may have or any other family member might have. He's very dignified. I feel like he would have been very smart even if he didn't have what we would consider a white collar job. He was a very intelligent human being. However, there's another grandfather standing next to him, and I feel like they both would have been alive at the same time, but just, one was on the dad's side and one was on the mother's side. Um, and the other guy has a cane and he's silly. I feel like he would have been someone that would want to cut a rug at a party, and he would have been the person that was singing like the loudest in church. Do you know who these grandfathers might have been? I also feel like the one that is a little more reserved or intelligent, however you wanna say it. Yes, he was Catholic and so drunk. Wait, the one with the cane was drunk? Okay, he's the silly one, got it, okay. What is his name if you're okay with, sharing with me on the internet? It's just first name, just so I can refer to him as such. Yes, the cane. He's, like, very silly because the more, reserved one stepped forward. He spoke Spanish, of course he would. That's okay if he spoke Spanish, but he's just, like, sitting there in, like, nice slacks and a nicer sort of button-down shirt and, like, brown leather loafers, and he's just, like, doing a jig leaning on his cane, and I'm like, "Wait, who are you?" Okay, got it. Um, Christy, do you have a brother? Hello, fat girl. It was his son's and my dad's B-day 2 days ago. Oh, that's so cute. Logic lurkers from Scotland. Oh, your brother is passed, okay. Sorry, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so Grandpa Chavez is here. Catholic and liked to drink. Christy says, I saw my brother when I was 8 years old. I found out he passed away before anyone else did. I'm so sorry about that. Um, was your mother a very strong, confident? I don't know if she's necessarily reserved. She's just very she takes things seriously. Was your mother very serious and strong, a very strong feminine person? My mother was a Leo. Oh, got it. I'm a Leo too. Um, did you just get a new car or what's with a car? Because I feel like there's more of a feminine presence coming through. But again, she takes up a lot of space with a lot of like of a commanding presence, but she's not loud. It's just like when someone who holds a lot of authority walks into a room, everyone feels it. So there's a woman that's like that stepping forward, and she's the one that told me that at one point in time you had a brother, but now she's showing me a car, but she's associating that feeling of a car with you. Oh, my boyfriend and I just got a Tesla. Okay. um, would your mom would have worn like very would she have worn like a floral print jumpsuit, but like a very businessy esque floral print jumpsuit? Yes, she was so business casual. Okay, because this woman is showing me she stands up very tall, she's very proud, her shoulders are back, but she looks like I can't necessarily see her face, but I know that she's dressed to carry a presence, as a reflection of who she is, and she's wearing, like, a very bright floral print jumpsuit with maybe, like, a nice heel, if you will, and she's the one that's showing me the car. I never saw her messy ever. She was always so perfect. Okay, perfect. So I do believe that your mom is coming through. Um, what questions would you have for spirit that any of these people could answer? So your two grandfathers, I feel like the first one was in a war. The second one might have been too, but he doesn't care that much about it. Um, and then I believe this is your mom. If it's consistent, the information I've provided with you is consistent with who she was when she was in life. Is she mad I don't sing? So, she's not necessarily mad. I would say, her answer is more so that you can choose to do whatever you want with your life. However, she does think that your talents could be used elsewhere. And whether or not you choose to use those talents is up to you. Oh, you said I haven't sang since she passed. Well, you could if you want to. Did you guys sing in church or did you just sing out loud or both? Did you do both? I feel like I won't be good enough without. You were on American Idol. What? So is she very much like she did like a hair flip sort of thing? And she's got her shoulder, like her arms crossed, but she's standing very, very tall. And she says, what you choose to do is up to you. However, she feels like you are not living up to the potential. Not necessarily that you have to do anything with it, like, you don't have to go on American Idol again if you don't want to, but she understands that singing brings you joy, and it also brings other people joy. So, if you're able to integrate singing into your life in any way, shape, or form that you feel drawn to, then that would make her happier, but she's not mad necessarily. She just wants to understand why you're holding out. Oh, Christy says, "Thank you so much. I'm crying so many happy tears." Stop. You're gonna make me cry. I'm very pregnant. I've been crying in people's private readings recently, and it's been bad. Although your mom's, most of the times I will feel soul's emotions, but your mom is like she's a very no nonsense businessy lady. So I think that's helping me with not becoming emotional, if that helps. Go out and karaoke with friends. That's what Loves Darkness says. I mean, you could go to church, you could karaoke with your friends, you could just sing around the house with your boyfriend. You could sing at your family, anywhere. She just says singing is a part of you and she doesn't want you to not do it anymore. Christy says, I decided to go to beauty school. She's been begging to since I was a kid. I've been doing pageants since before I was able to walk. Aw. Well, that's awesome. Well, maybe you could do something when you integrate stuff into beauty school. It doesn't again, you don't have to do it in any sort of, like, structured way necessarily. Just not giving up singing is what's most important to your mom, and hopefully you, because 'cause you're good at it. That's a good thing. Christy says, "I don't tell anyone because you're be I don't tell anyone, I'm so ashamed. I'm an amazing singer, and I feel so lost in that part of my life without her. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to learn to live for fun, so thank you." Girl, me too. Um, I'm very sorry that you lost your mom. It makes me angry when people aren't in their, like, 40s or 50s. 50s or 60s when their parents, finally pass and you're, like, 20 or 30 and your parents are gone. That makes me really sad and angry. My mom lost her parents when she was only in her 30s, and they were older, so I didn't know them very much, so just it sucks, and, you are trying to learn how to live for fun without your mom, and I just need you to know that even though she isn't here physically, she's still here spiritually, and that's you can still have a relationship with your past loved ones. It's just that the relationship changes because they're not here physically. So the relationship is more spiritual. So it's important to understand that they're never really gone because their soul still persists. And when you talked about living to have fun, I used to feel like I had a lot of that too when I was little. And your mom's a Leo. I'm also a Leo. We like to try and have fun. Um, but I've become a little more reserved as I've gotten older from different experiences, and now that I have my son, um, I have been trying to have more fun because my kid, he's just a little partier, and I mean, the other day, you might not like country music, but my husband put on the song Chattahoochee, and there's this like, part of the song where the guy who's singing, like, does little, like, happy sounds or whatever, almost like yodeling type whatever, and my kid stands up and he just starts doing the same thing. And we went to a restaurant the other day. We went to Cane's. It's his favorite place to go and eat. And it's so silly, but he loves the disco balls and the music. I took him to the bathroom to go wash his hands and an Earth, Wind and Fire song came on. And he was so excited to sing and dance to the silly Earth, Wind and Fire song in the bathroom. And I'm like sitting there trying to get past my own ego of like, we're at a silly restaurant. My kid's 2 and he wants to sing and dance. So we were singing and dancing in the middle of Cane's to an Earth, Wind and Fire song. So like I hope that even though your mom is gone, that you are able to start to live for fun and love and bring that singingness back out into your life for a whole bunch of different reasons. And I'm hoping that beauty school can help you with that. And maybe you could help other kids in pageants or anything like that. That would be so cool. But just don't stop singing because that would make your mom sassily sad. She would she would just sit you down and ask you why you're doing that. Or not doing that, I should say. So I hope that helps. Um okay, so we're going to catch up on the comments from Christy. I'm sorry I'm not talking about myself anymore. You just said I'm trying to learn to live for fun and I hope that what I shared helps you and maybe others in any way shape or form. Okay, let's see. I was about to be 21 and she was going on her 60th birthday. I'm so sorry. Christy says, everything you said has resonated so much. Thank you so much. You made my year a different outlook. Stop. I appreciate that. Um, so anyways, thank you so much, Christy, for purchasing another little reading with me. And I mean, you talk to your past loved ones anyways all the time. So I'm hoping that maybe your mom will step forward when the time is right and you guys can have a little bit of like a reunion, you know, mediumship to mama. So that would be a really cool experience. You'll have to let me know if that happens. You're welcome. Good luck in beauty school. Unless you already graduated, then awesome. That's super cool. I wish I could learn something from beauty school. um and congratulations on the Tesla. The only ever time that I've ridden on a road in a Tesla was once, and, I didn't know how to open the doors. I figured it out. Like, I looked at it, and my brain was like, "Why are there not door handles?" And I was like, "Oh, you have to push them, and then they come out." So no one saw necessarily that I was gonna struggle, but I got it. Oh, it's so funny. Thank you, Christy. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see. All right, Sandra, thank you so much for your patience. Sandra, are you in the comments? And if you are, can you tell me the first letter of your last name if your username is different? Christy said I got locked in for 3 minutes when we first got it. That's so funny. My husband works for Mopar, so he works on cars that are like Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, Chrysler, Ram, Fiat, things like that, and one time he got to drive a rental car because he was going to training in a different state, and he's like, "Here, you have to try this," and it was just like a little Jeep Renegade, and I'd never driven a car that had, like, fancy bells and whistles in it, and we were driving, and it was probably, like, late I don't know, like February, March, so it was cold and dreary outside, so he just had it turned on, had me get in, and we were driving to, like, go do something, and the steering wheel started getting hot, and I remember freaking out, I was like, "Something's wrong, the steering wheel's, like, on fire," so I, like, put on the hazards and got to the side of the road, and he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "The steering wheel is hot, I don't there's something wrong, we need to get out of this," and he goes, "It has a heated steering wheel," and I was like, "Oh, I feel really silly." Okay, so Sandra's here, Sandra, 83. And Sandra has a couple questions about her pets. I know, isn't that funny? Okay, so there's 22 people watching and we have 11 likes. If we get to 20 likes, that would be great. I feel like that last story is worth a couple likes, right? Like dumb blonde moment. Okay, so Sandra has a little adorable corgi toy Australian Shepherd named River, who's 3 years old. He's 25 pounds. He's a blue merle baby boy. Oh, so he's very colorful and adorable. Um, Oh, with long white socks on his legs. How cute. So he's all like blue merle with long little white legs, but they're short, right? Wait. Corgi had more of an Aussie body. Oh, okay. So he's got little long legs. That's so cute. Um, he's adorable. Okay. That is adorable. I like corgis. I think they're silly. I like that their legs are really short. Okay. So Sandra says, I'd like to know what would make him more calm and agreeable around the cats with the house and why he always has to run after them but doesn't seem to want to hurt them. He doesn't, right? Do you have 2 or 3 cats, Sandra? Let me ask. Um, can he can he ever just chill around them because he has no chill around them currently? He could be out of his crate more overnight or sleep with us if he was. So basically, just wanting to know his feelings towards the cats and if he wants anything and knows we adore and love him. Okay. 3 cats, 2 olders and 1 kitten. Okay, because I saw 2 older cats, but when I asked him how many cats there was, he gave me the impression of 3. And when I say he, I do feel like I'm channeling River. Um, are both of his eyes the same color? No, one is half blue. Okay, got it. But it's only half blue, so he has 1 brown eye and then 1 eye that's blue and then half brown. Hello. Um, yes, more of a sliver of blue, but yes. Okay, cool. 'Cause when I talk to animals, I'll talk to them like mono e mono, which is their point of view, things that they understand, they know about and have experienced. And then the second way is more omnipresently, so it's more spiritually led. So it's information that maybe they might not know or be aware of or things that they haven't experienced, but it's still information related to them and hopefully for their benefit. So usually when I talk to like the Aussie Shepherds, especially if they're mixed with something, one will have one color eye and then a blue eye. But when I asked River, he goes, "No, both of my eyes are the same color." And I'm like, "Okay." But then Spirit was like, "No, no, no, no. He has two different color eyes." I'm like, "That's why I asked the question the way I did." I was so like confused a little bit, but that's funny that he doesn't realize that one of his eyes is slightly a different color. He just I mean, he probably just doesn't look that close enough, like, he just sees it and keeps moving on with his day, but anyways, um, so I do think that you're right. He does not want to hurt the cats. Um, Instead of saying that he wants to hurt the cats, HURT, he wants to herd the cats, HERD. Um, Sandra says, "Oh, it's such a small sliver, some may not notice at first glance." Yeah, I don't think he's noticed either, but spirit knows. Um, so he does want to play with the cats, he just wants to herd them. But that is because of his breeding and his mentality. So he's a corgi and an Australian Shepherd. I don't know, were corgis bred for herding? I know they're a working dog, but I don't necessarily remember what their work is. But I do know Australian Shepherds are part of herding because they herd like sheep and things like that, right? Sorry, I'm just laughing because Spirit says things in funny ways. Santa says, yes, we also have his brother, and he's totally chill with them. He's sadly the only one not chilling out with them, but yes, they're total herders. Hi, Ivan. I'm good. How are you? Okay, because I was asking if there was possibly another dog in the house or someone else, and I was seeing another shepherd or Aussie Shepherd looking dog. But this one was quiet, and I was like, is that you? um, Does his brother have more, like, tan or something on him or more white? He says he's, like, a slightly different color. His brother has way more spotting and, yes, more brown. Okay, got it. Because that helps me differentiate between who I'm talking to. So when sorry, I'm just trying to answer your question of will he stop? Do you live on a decent bit of land, Sandra, or no? Like, does your husband go out four-wheeling, or is there some sort of vehicle he takes outside on land? Also, hi, Magic Moth. I'm just going back through the chats really quick, and you said, "What a sweet story to drop in on." Thank you. Thank you for letting me talk about my son. Oh, no, we just have a pretty normal standard size backyard. Okay, no, that's alright. Um, does your husband go hunting or fishing or anything like that? The reason I'm asking is I see a man who wears a baseball cap. He's more of like a medium to husky build, and he might be someone that, that might be outdoorsy more. And I'm wondering if perhaps this is something that Spirit is showing me more omnipresently since it's not something River may know about, unless he does. But it could be helpful for him to go outside and run with this person. That's why I'm asking these questions. Logic lurker, I know. He's gonna be 3 soon. Like River. And we just have all of the 3-year-olds, whether they're four-legged or two-legged in the same room. I'm sure that would be fun. Oh, Sandra says, "Oh, that's weird. There's actually no men around him ever, lol, at least physically." Okay. So what I'm seeing could be wrong, or it could be something that is like a future thing perhaps. So the reason I laughed earlier when I was writing and waiting for a response was one of the things that may help River out is when I asked Spirit, they said he needs to get a job. That's why I laughed. Um, so that could be agility training, it could be some sort of herding thing that you can do with him that you can either find, um, someone to take him to or a place to take him to where he can learn how to do herding things, or perhaps there could be things that you could buy, like, I know on YouTube, there's probably a lot of resources where people could give you good ideas on activities that he could do just at home that would help him get that energy out, but he really doesn't see the cats as things that he wants to hurt, he just wants them to play with him back. And when he moves and they scatter, he's like it really does bring truth to the idea of quote unquote, it's like herding cats. Um, so it's good to know that he, doesn't want to hurt them. However, if you are looking for ways to try and get that energy out or at least make it more productive so that when he's at home, he maybe doesn't chase the cats as much or learns that that's not something you should necessarily herd because you have these other things you can do, that might be helpful for him. Um, I do wanna say, is there you said that he's never around, um he's never around men, which is fine, but he did mention that there's an older lady who comes by. I feel like she's probably, like, older to the point where her hair is almost gray or white, and she sits in I don't know if you have, like, an island chair, but the chair is a little bit taller, but he's also short too, so that's funny. Um, or, like, a chair that would sit at an island table or one that just sits up a little bit taller. I feel like she might wear yellow pants and a white shirt maybe, but she reaches down and he really, really enjoys her. Do you know who this older woman might be? Um, Sandra says, "I can see that, like, with the training. I didn't think he wanted to hurt them. Glad to confirm." Yeah, I don't think so either. He's a little silly boy. Do you know who this older woman might be? Yes, my mother is who he's speaking of. He adores your mother so much. And I'm trying to ask him these other questions about the cats and then ask spirit if maybe there's something that could be more constructive for him. Um, but he just keeps talking about this older woman. And then I don't know if you have like beef jerky treats or something that is more, it's not a biscuit, but it's more of like a jerky or like a soft brown stinky treat. But he really likes those a lot. So perhaps using those to I don't know, settle down or something might help because he loves those treats. Which is just very funny. I hope I was able to answer, the questions that you had. Thank you for letting me talk to River. He's very funny, and his brother's like the total opposite, which is just even funnier. You're welcome. You're welcome, you're welcome. Okay. So, we do have another reading. However, I know some of you had some spiritual questions. I'm not going to remember your name. Oh, Jess. Jess, your question that you had, let me see if I can answer it real quick and then we'll get on to the next reading. And the next reading is for Melissa, Melissa A. So let's see. If you're just joining in, hi, my name is Liv. I feel like it's silly to do that during live streams, but I guess that's what you're supposed to do because like everyone's here, but then to just like stop and reintroduce everything. But anyways, hi, my name is Liv. I'm a psychic medium, and we are doing mini live stream readings as well as chatting about spiritual things and just life in general. So Jess's question was, How do you cover yourself in white light or protection? I find myself looking at my body standing next to it, not as though as if I'm in my body. That's weird. Oh, wait, you're going to have to elaborate. That's so interesting. How do you cover yourself in white light or protection? I find myself looking at my body standing next to it, not as though as if I'm in my body. And then you ask, is that weird? For me, yes, that's weird. um, like from across the room. That's so interesting. Also, Melissa, if you could tell me who you are in the chat. Oh, hello. Okay, perfect. And I said Melissa A, and I need to stop doing that because you have to tell me the first letter of your last name. Not that I think that anybody in here would really try to steal someone else's reading, but I also feel like it's more professional. Everyone that comes to these is so, so nice, and I appreciate every one of you. Because you are good conversation, good company, and you all are so nice. So, the two Melissas meet. Okay, so wait, we're gonna answer Jess's question, and then we're gonna do Melissa's reading. So, you feel like when you try to put white light around yourself that you're standing in the room across from yourself. Um, I don't know why that would be happening. Um, when I focus on trying to like, I got both the kitty cats on there. When I try to focus myself in the idea of like white light or protection, um, I really just close my eyes and I think about almost as if uh how can I explain this very well? Um, when you go outside and something's really, really like hot in contrast to cold, so you can see like the heat resonating off of that object around the coldness. When I picture myself, I really try to focus that I'm envisioning white light or any color light that you're looking for. Like sometimes I'll use pink, sometimes I'll use yellow. It just depends on what that color means to you and in the form of protection that you're asking for. So I will try to close my eyes if necessary and envision that sort of like emanation of energy out around me. Um, so it's more like things are coming from within me than I'm necessarily removing myself from something. Does that help you, Jess? I try to picture myself while I'm in it and I lose that focus and I'm out of body. That's so odd. For me personally, it's very hard for me to try and focus on myself as if I was not within my own body. Um, so I may not just not be the person to necessarily answer that question for you. But again, to sort of answer it, um, that's odd for me. But perhaps maybe like sitting in a chair or on the ground or somewhere where you can have your feet down flat will help you with like positioning your body for that energy sort of work. And again, I focus on the energy coming out from within me, almost as if you could like envision some sort of energy like right within the center of your chest and then push it out. So again, you're trying to focus on something from within you, emanating sort of like a light, if that helps. Um, Love's Darkness says, I just discovered that on this day in history, Shakespeare died on his birthday. I like the random fun fact. That's good. Also, if for some reason you are doing some like sort of projecting thingy, see if from you in your out of body experience ish type of thing, Jess, maybe you can do like I don't know if I should say this because my husband says things from movies that I don't necessarily understand and it could be whatever, but he says like goose fraba when he doesn't understand a word or whatever. Um, but if you are trying to envision yourself in that white light, see if from your different perspective that puts you in for whatever reason, maybe it's just how your psychic abilities work. See if from where you are, you can put white light around you, and then let me know how that works. Like from where you are, be like goose raba and try to put white light around you from where you see yourself from where you are. So I hope that helps. Um, I do end up with white light around my body. There you go. So your body, your psychic abilities just work a little bit differently, so do it that way. If that's the way that works for you, I'm not gonna tell you any different. I just gotta do it from outside myself. That's totally okay. It's just a different point of view. Okay, Melissa, thank you so much for your patience and everyone that's here. Melissa has a pet reading and oh, it's just an Aussie Shepherd mixed day. Okay, so Melissa has a dog named Otis, which is adorable, and he is an Aussie Mountain Doodle. So is he like an Aussie Shepherd? What is the mountain? What mountain dog is he? You're welcome, Jess. I'm glad that we could figure that out for a different way for you. Hi, Jen. Yes, both. Actually, there's two cats. That's Sniffles, and that's Gatsby. Bernice Mountain Dog. Okay, I like couldn't think about the Bernice part, but I could see them in my head because our neighbor has one that's like the smallest Bernese Mountain Dog I've ever seen. He's convinced that she's a full Bernese, which she may be, but she's like the size of a small like golden retriever. And then a doodle, that is so funny. That has to be a really awesome dog. But I'm what is it? I'm biased because I have a Newfoundland, so I like the big dogs. I love the Burmese Mountain Dogs, Saint Bernards. Oh, what are the big white dogs? Great Pyrenees. Those are the bigger and the more like a bear, the better. Aussies are hilarious. I used to know an Australian Shepherd who was just like the chubbiest little Aussie you've ever seen. He was a barn dog, and he was so fat, and I mean so fat that you could put things on top of him. He was like a hay bale with legs, and I loved him. And then my dad, not my dog, my dad just recently got a doodle. And they're actually an Australian doodle, labradoodle, which I guess is a breed in and of itself. But anyways, my dad got a matching dog with his longtime girlfriend, basically wife, and they're funny little doodles. So anyways, thank you for listening to my antidote. Melissa says his birthday is next week. Oh, happy birthday, Otis. And what is the number one thing he wants for his birthday? Oh, this is the cutest little reading. What does Otis want for his birthday? Because he's gonna be how did you say? How old is he gonna be? Um, what is the number thing he wants for his birthday? That is so cute. Um, he is considered a mini Aussie Mountain Doodle, but I love the big Bernese dogs. So, 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 so cute. Okay. Otis. Have you gotten him like a dog cookie before where it's like a biscuit with frosting on it? Like the ones that they sell at the dog stores and they look like little like donuts or like that. Do you know what I'm talking about, Melissa? Yep. Okay. Because one of the things he would like for his birthday is one of those cookies, specifically with pink frosting, if there's pink frosting. Pretty sure we got that for him last year. That is so funny. He's very specific on the pink frosting, though. Also, is there a man in his life? Are you either married or is there a masculine presence that he's used to that would be someone that he's like, that's my dad? Yep. Okay. Because when I first started talking to him, he just wants to talk about how he really likes his dad. Your husband. Okay. He really likes his dad. He would like to go for like a car ride or a walk with him and then possibly eat the cookie after that. So he'd like a car ride and a walk with dad. If you'd like to be there, you can definitely be there too. But he says dad's more fun. I don't know if they like work out together or something or go for runs, maybe. Um, but he would like the pink frosted cookie after that. And then is there another dog that lives with him that's older? or acts older? I'm crying and laughing, says Melissa. Is there like a older dog or that lives with him or a dog that acts older? He's the only dog living we have right now. Was there a dog in a past birthday that he knew about? Who was maybe like white or gray or like a light tan or a light brown maybe or white with like brown? Um Ruby was my dog that we had before Otis. She passed in 2019 and she was tan. Okay. Did they ever live at the same time? The reason I'm asking is he's showing me that there's another dog that he knew about or has seen before. So it could be spiritually, it could be not physically or literally, but more spiritually. But he's talking about how there was another dog present on one of his birthdays and he doesn't want to share with them. That's why I'm asking because he doesn't want this other dog to be there because he doesn't want to have to share anything. Oh, no, I can't think of who that could be, but that's so funny. Okay, maybe he saw a dog spiritually, or again, I could be wrong. And then I didn't even read the second part of your question because he just starts. I told you he was talking about your husband, his dad, right? And you said also, my husband always says that Otis is his soul dog. I feel this to be true, but what does Otis feel? So I um I think the fact that I didn't read that and Otis was already talking about your husband in the first place and was like, "We have to go on a walk or a car ride first for my birthday and then we can eat my cookie. And it's fine if mom comes, but you have to do it." Answers that question. Okay. Melissa says that's why I was crying laughing. Okay, I didn't read that part of the question. That's why I try to like I have a brain like a fish sometimes with the ADHD, you know? So I try to go like one by one for the most part or write them down if I don't. So I hope that answers your question. Oh, happy birthday, Otis. Thank you so much, Melissa, for making a little mini reading. That's awesome. And I hope Otis has the best day ever. That is so cute. I've never gotten my dogs any of those little cookies from the store. But I think it's interesting that he's just on it. My sister-in-law, she spoils my animals, so Otis is a daddy's boy. Me and my son are the secondary people. Oh, that's so funny. I love that. Um, so anyways, my aunt, not my aunt, my sister-in-law, my husband's sister, she will come over and she brings all of the treats for all of the animals and all of the children. So Logic Lurker says, "Happy birthday, Otis, from my pup Archie." Aw, so cute. Um, so if you guys are just entering into the live stream, please feel free to leave a like on the live stream. My name's Liv. I'm a professional psychic medium, and we're just talking about spiritual things and doing mini readings. If you're interested, there is a link pinned where you can purchase a mini reading with me on a live stream. There's psychic medium, pet psychic, and plant readings. We haven't done plant readings in a while. It's always fun. Um, but yeah, so now that we're done with the last reading for now, we're going to continue answering spiritual questions, starting with Logic Lurker, who says, "Do you feel your ADHD hinders or helps your abilities live?" um, there was a for like I would say about a year I was on ADHD medication, which I had never been on before because I never was actually clinically diagnosed with ADHD until probably when did I get married? I got married in 22. Yeah, I got married in has it really been that long? 22, 20, I guess so. So I got married in 22. Um and it was probably 2021 to 2022 that I got diagnosed in 2021 officially from my doctor. And no, not Ritalin or Statera. I think it was just Adderall. Um, oh, Karina, that's a good question. I'm gonna come back to that to answer it. So I was officially diagnosed with ADHD, and that was really fun because my doctor asked me because I had to fill out on the form and things like that. She's like, "Oh, it says that you have a college degree." She goes, "What do you have your associates in?" And I said, "Well, actually, I have my bachelor's in biology." And she goes, "How did you get a bachelor's? You have terrible ADHD." And I said, "Well, it took me 5 years to do, and I almost gave up for a multitude of different reasons, not just the ADHD." So thank you for telling me that. It validated a lot of my life for just a split second there. Um, and then I think being on ADHD medication really did help me focus because a lot of times my brain is just like a lot of tabs are running. Well, I originally thought I had anxiety and or depression, which I do. However, they are, and I'm not a doctor, so this is just my own personal story that I understand. They are actually symptomatic of the ADHD. So I was on depression medication probably back in 2016, 2017, and that did not work for me. And the reason was because I had not just anxiety or depression, but ADHD. So the ADHD medication helped with the anxiety and depression. Um, but to answer your question, a logic lurker, do you think ADHD hinders or helps your abilities? I do think that it probably helps my abilities, but people did ask me that when I was on medication, did it help or hinder my abilities? And I don't think it helped or hindered my abilities when I was on medication. But to answer your question specifically, I think it helps my abilities perhaps because when you are talking to souls or channeling energy, there's a lot of different things going on in your brain. So when I am talking to souls, they'll give me information. And again, that's another reason why I write things down when I'm channeling, especially with pet psychic readings, because pet psychic readings are a bit like talking to children. You can ask them a question and then they'll completely talk about something else. So I like to write things down because I'll forget about them, but that's how my brain works. It's like, okay, you have to wash the dishes. But then when I walk to the kitchen to wash the dishes, I realize that I need to vacuum the floor. So then I'll start vacuuming the floor. And then halfway done through vacuuming the floor, I'm like, wait, I needed to wash the dishes. So I'll finish up vacuuming the floor and then I'll go to wash the dishes, but then I'll see that the laundry's done. And I'm like, well, I should fold the laundry first because in my brain goes, oh, well, the laundry's done. You don't want it to sit in the dryer because then you'll have to turn it back on to unwrinkle it. And you don't want to use extra electrical energy. So then I'll go do the dryer. But then when I'm folding clothes in the dryer, I'll see that the cat litter boxes need to be cleaned. It's just like that all the time. Um, so I think when I was on the medication, I was also working a normal 9 to 5 job that was actually pretty conducive to ADHD, I think, honestly, because there were so many moving parts with what I was doing. I was executive administrative assistant, but I also did trade shows for different portions of the companies that the company that hired me owned. So I always had a whole like notepad of things. And I would just make sure that I had all of the things that I needed to do written down. But with the ADHD medication, even though I had all of these things that were going on in my brain, it was easier for me to not get distracted by the other ones and not be off topic by them. So I hope that helps answer your questions. When it comes to channeling energy, I think it's good to have your brain sort of be like octopus tentacles, if you will, for lack of a better word. However, being on medication doesn't hinder it. It just maybe softens it a little bit. So you have a little more like control of where the tentacles are going. So I hope that answers your question. It really does. Thank you. I need to find my way back. Um okay, sorry. I was not keeping up on the chat. Thank you for still answering or asking questions. So Karina says, "Hey Liv, do plants communicate to other plants or spirits?" Yes. Yes, they do. Plants ruin me. Um, so my hypothesis or theory is that from my like evolutionary biology science standpoint, my spiritual sort of idea when it comes to plant communication, at least spiritually, is that when you think about breaking down evolution, plants came first, then people came. Without plants, the entire atmosphere of Earth would not be what it was. It would not be, or what it is. It wouldn't be conducive to having oxygen that allows our cells and our existence to actually continue. So I believe that on an evolutionary slash spiritual convergent point, trees and plants are one of the most spiritually linked, like living things on our planet. Because without trees, there wouldn't be people. So when I think about communication of things, the way trees have been shown to me is that, trees have root systems right underneath them. And then they also have their branches. And the way that I perceive how trees are more like omnipresent about spiritual things is that because they are a tree, they are one of the higher spiritual beings, because without them, we would not exist. So when it comes to like tree and plant communication, I think that trees and plants are just inherently one of the most spiritual things on the planet. um, and they really do link spirituality to physicality. Again, because without trees, we wouldn't be here. And a lot of the earth would not be the way that it is. So it's kind of that as above, so below type of thing. So when I ask about trees, I'm usually shown more symbolically that the roots of the trees are what tie them to the spiritual realm, whereas the tops of the trees are also what tie them to the physical realm, but on a convergence of higher spirituality. So it's like their roots set the foundation and everything else travels up and in between them, like that. Kind of like a portal, if you will, but not necessarily a portal all the time. Trees are wildly amazing to me. So, I saw a woman, I can't remember what her name was, but I follow her and her stuff pops up a little bit on social media just because she's a psychic, but she deals specifically with like plants and trees. And she was talking about how plants and trees communicate with people and each other through like soul frequency energies or something. Like if you walk into a forest, then trees are able to like read your souls or your auras, if you will, and connect with you that way. And I've just never really thought about it that way. So to give you a different perspective from someone else a little bit anecdotally, I hope that answers your questions. Um, Christine, lol, you did bio. You can do it. um, Logic Lurker on the topic of ADHD says, I was diagnosed in 96. I was on Ritalin as a kid, but got addicted to it. I'm so sorry. I had to stop taking meds for many years until the last 5 years. I am on Elevance now, and I feel that I have lost mine. Lost. I don't know what you mean you lost something. I'm so sorry. I work in cybersecurity since the name, and it's the best job for me. That's good. I haven't been on medication since shortly after my husband and I got married because I've had my son. Now we're having our second baby, so I've been told by medical professionals that it's okay to be on medication when you're pregnant, or at least the medication I was on for ADHD, but that's just not my vibe. That's not to say it's wrong. It's just not my thing. So once I'm done having babies for a while, then maybe I'll do that. But anyways, um, so I've been unmedicated for a while. And sometimes it's hard, but that's okay because I have a beautiful, lovely boy that I was lucky enough to nurse for a lot longer than I thought that I would nurse. So In my brain, I was like, every time he nurses, he's gonna become superpower or like, not necessarily have a superpower, but there's a lot of really good things to being able to nurse, and I wanna say I was lucky enough to do it, but I also was just stubborn enough to do it too. Like, really stubborn, that was a hill that I was gonna die on. Um, and every time, we got more successful with it, because it was really hard in the beginning when my son was first born, I almost gave up many times. But I was always like, "This is so beneficial for him." He has, like I was so worried that he was gonna get sick. And I know that breastfeeding can help with, like, antibodies and immunity and things like that, so I was like, "If I just do this, he won't get sick, and he'll be really like, he'll have a really good immune system for when he's older." So, like, that was my whole thing. But anyways, okay. Christine says, "My boyfriend is ADHD. He doesn't finish the task. He goes to the next, and I just give up what he says. It's like, whatever, I'm not going to be upset." That's so funny. Um, okay, so Stephanie says, "Hey Liv, tips on trusting intuition. I often have a gut feeling but ignore it. Then the situation unfolds as I expected it to happen, and I could have handled it better had I trusted my gut." That is a very good question, Stephanie. I did a podcast not too long ago on intuition because I was feeling the same way, honestly. I was like, why didn't I listen to my intuition? Because now all of this stuff is happening and I feel like I could have been more prepared for it or handled it differently or been more smart about it or, whatever. And honestly, the only thing that I've come to a conclusion at or is that intuition is like hindsight 2020. So taking note of that feeling is good because the next time you feel it, you can either decide to act on it or not, but you really won't understand if it's intuition or just maybe someone overthinking or yourself overthinking until that actually plays out. So, I wish I had a better answer for you, but I mean, it really is just like I wanna say practicing, but I don't think practicing is necessarily the right word. It's just, it's hard to there's a fine line between thinking that everything could be like intuition or like a psychic hit or something else spiritual and like losing your mind. And I don't wanna say like losing your mind in a bad way, but I don't want people to become like I don't want people to just always feel like they have to be looking out for something, and if they don't look out for something, then something bad is gonna happen or something unfavorable is gonna happen. So, the middle point I was gonna say middle point, medium point that I've come to personally is that when you feel like there is an intuitive, perspective that's being given to you or information, take note of it and just be like, "Hmm, I wonder if that'll happen." If you really feel like it would be helpful or beneficial to change the situation or change how you're interacting in a situation, then go for it. Use that discernment of your own, but really just being able to realize that you're getting a psychic hit, if you will, and then realizing down the road that it did or didn't happen is just kind of how it is. I'm sorry. Is there a better way I can answer that for you? Or does that help you a little bit? Because 'Cause I've had stuff that have happened where, I felt like I got intuition about it, um, but again, I was like, "This is my intuition, or am I just feeling a little, like, whatever about this?" And, it wasn't until months later that it actually happened, and I was like, "Hmm, interesting." So, I'm so sorry. I wish I could give you a better, more, like, concrete thing, but it's kind of hard to do. I've also watched people that I know, like, I had, what was it? I'm trying to think of, like, a story. Okay, Stephanie says it helps. Okay, good. Like, for example, my mom likes to go to psychics. I haven't gone to a psychic in a while. Um, but my mom likes to go to psychics and she'll tell me things and then be like, "This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen." And I'm just like, okay. For example, she's been telling me that I'm gonna have twins for like the past 6 years of my life. I have not had any twins yet. And she keeps telling me, even with like, we're on baby number 2 now, right? She's like, I saw the psychic the other day and she says that there's going to be a woman in my life that has twins. And I'm like, well, unless it's you, then I don't know what you're talking about. But she like fixates on it. And I don't want people to like think that they have to fixate on things for stuff like that, because then I feel like it defeats the purpose of just letting the universe sort of flow through you. I hope that I hope that helps. Okay, I'm done. Um I'm just go listen to my intuition podcast if you want to, maybe. Maybe that'll have a little different nugget of information that I'm not remembering to say here. So now we do have 2 more readings in the queue. I would like to answer those before we keep answering spiritual questions. Jay says that's gonna be your 4th pregnancy. Boom, twins. Wait, I'm only on my 2nd. What are you talking about? I would only like to have 3 max, hopefully, not 4. Then I would have what? 6 kids. I don't think I can have 6 kids, Jay. I don't know what you're talking about. Go back to work. Sorry, Jay's a patron. She's a hoot and a half. Karina says, "How do plants feel when we eat them?" Stop it. I'm not gonna answer that question because I don't wanna think about it. Okay, Nancy, thank you so much for your patience. Nancy purchased a pet psychic reading. Nancy, can you please tell me what the first letter of your last name is so I know who you are in chat? I do wanna tell you, though, I do try to use my psychic abilities to pick out really good fruit and vegetables at the store. Oh, hello. Okay. So, Nancy is in the chat as Beth. Do you want me to call you Beth or do you want me to call you Nancy? Beth. Okay. I can do that. I like your name, Beth. Okay. So, Beth's question or first thing is Beth has Vinny Bag of Donuts. He is a red-nosed pit bull that has fawn and tan fur on his body. Oh, so cute with white feet. I love pit bulls, especially when they have the little white feet. I used to have a pit bull, a rescue that we got from the shelter, and she was a pit bull yellow lab Great Dane cross, and she had little white feetsies. And I figured that the pit bull is what has the little white feet. So it's just a trait that I like of pit bulls because I think they're cute. Anyways, okay, so we're just gonna call him Vinny. He's a red nose. His face is half white and half tan, and the spots on his nose are in the shape of a heart. Oh my goodness. His eyes are the same color tan as his fur. Of course they are. And I bet he just has the cutest, most little soulful eyes because they always do. I just love pit bulls. Ugh. My her name was Tasha, and she was adorable. And she also had the pit bull thing. If you don't know, pit bulls were originally bred to be very fancy rich people nanny dogs to protect and be kind to rich family, highfalutin aristocratic families' children. So they were literally bred to be the kindest, most gentle creatures for very important, wealthy families' children. So all of the things that have happened with them now is something that I don't necessarily agree with. I think there's a difference between nature versus nurture. And I think a lot of the things that have happened to the pit bull breed are because of probably a lack of nurturing, I would say. But their nature is to be the most lovely, silly little hunky chunky blocks in the history of the universe. And I wish that people didn't suck so much so that more people could understand that pit bulls are just they're so cute. They're like little cinder block heads, and they like to sit in the sun because they get cold easily. And when they're really happy, they smile. And it doesn't look like they're smiling because they're dogs. It looks like they're like like snarling, but they're really happy and they will pick their little lips up so high that their nose is like inhibited from breathing and then they start snorting and then they got their little white feet going and their little tail. It's just oh, Tasha had the smiling thing that pit bulls do. So I miss her. She was a good girl. And pit bulls are great. So I'm done with my antidote on pit bulls. Questions that Beth has. What do you need to feel like you are home now? Oh, how long have you had Vinny? Since September. Okay, I was gonna just ask if it was 6 months, but it'll be 7 or 8 months now, so okay. Um, are there any other animals in the house or no? No? Four cats, okay. And he's good with all the cats, right? Eh. He's still getting used to them. Do you have, like, a really is one of your cats very fluffy or long-haired? Yes, okay, because he really likes the fluffy, long-haired cat. That's the one cat that talks nicest to him and makes him feel calm and quiet, which he needs. Okay. Um, have you tried putting, um, like, jackets on him yet? Or, like, sweatshirts or jackets or some sort of, like, shirt or clothing? And again, when I talk to pets, it's both mono e mono, so things that they know about, also as well as spiritually omnipresent, so things that they might not know about yet. So you have put jackets on him? I'm sorry, I was looking and then I looked back down. Yes, okay, because he really likes the jackets, they make him feel really important. Like, he thinks he looks really cool if you take him for a walk in it. If it seems like he's trying to take it off when he gets home, that's fine, but when he goes out and you put him on and other people can see him, he takes it very seriously. Um, also, do you have the propensity to have bunnies in your yard this summer and springtime? Well, he does look so cute. He thinks he looks cute, and he thinks it's so, like he gets all, like a little kid on picture day, but if a little kid really liked picture day and wasn't like, "Oh, my mom wants me to take pictures," he's like, "No, I'm really cute, look at me." This is adorable. And then again, sorry, is there a possibility that you could have bunnies in your yard? I'm not sure about bunnies. Okay. So the information that I'm getting, the information about the bunnies could either be wrong or it's more omnipresent information. So what I feel about the bunnies, this is what I'm my media sorry, this baby is pushing all of my everything up. I'm sorry. Um the mediumship information that I'm getting is that you may have bunnies in your yard this spring or summer and or you'll go somewhere where he'll see that there's bunnies in the yard and I think he'll really like them. I don't think he'll try to eat them. I think he might try to like sit with them and maybe like lick them or disturb them that which he shouldn't do, but it's not because he's going to hurt them. It's just because he wants to be around them and thinks they're really interesting. Um, However, my egotistical brain is like, "No, he's gonna try to eat them." But I just want you to know that mediumship-wise, I feel like there is a future possibility that he will see bunnies and he will love them. Um, just try not to let him love them too hard because he might be like one of those dogs. Oh, he has a bunny toy! That might make sense. I don't know, if he sees bunnies and then thinks they're like a toy, but then they move, then his brain might click and be like, "I must protect these." Um So specifically, spirit will show me things that I know about as a basis for giving me information. And I had a friend, or I have a friend. She had a dog named Tiny who was a bull mastiff. And one summer they had bunnies in their little backyard, and their bull mastiff named Tiny, who was like 10 years old, decided that she was the mother of these bunnies, and she went into, like, a false pregnancy. She was, like, lactating everywhere, and you couldn't bring her inside because she just wanted to be around these bunnies. And this is what spirit is showing me about Vinny. Not necessarily I understand that he's a boy, but that he will have the same sort of, like, nurturing propensity possibly to these bunnies. So I know, Tiny was so sweet. I wish I could show you a picture of her. She lived to be, like, 13 years old as a mastiff, right? Um But this is what I'm seeing omnipresently. So, um, do you have, like, a little outside patio that you can go onto as well? On whether you live in a house or an apartment, I feel like there's a back, like, door or a back sliding glass door and, then like, a small, like, concrete patio or deck or something that you can go outside and lay in the sun in. If you do, he's just telling me about it, and he would like to sit outside on the patio with you more often and just chill. He has a fenced backyard. Okay, perfect. He really likes it out there. Oh, I Beth says, "I would like that too." Yeah, he wants you to be out there with him though too. Well, he just sits in the sun and you can rub his belly. Okay, and then your question was what was life like before he was at the pound? Um, I feel like he might have been in an apartment or a smaller house. I think perhaps the patio that I'm seeing is maybe one of the more quiet places that he had at his life before he was with you. Because he makes me feel like there's a small little kitchen and a small living room, kind of like when you walk into an apartment, um, like an apartment house, there'll be like stairs to the left or the right that go up, and then there's a small living room that goes into a kitchen, and then there's usually like a little back door or something at the back. That's what he shows me. And I feel like there was a small little concrete area, maybe with like the what is it? The like, privacy fence that just, like, is the 2 little half fences on either side, but he says that was the most, like, quiet that he had. But I do think that the household that he lived in, there might have been a lot of yelling or ruckus. I'm not sure if there was children. I can just hear that it was loud. Um, he doesn't necessarily like when things are loud. So if you ever notice if he's afraid of, like, thunder, or like when the TV's too loud, or if someone raises their voice, that might be something from his previous life. And I just feel like the people that had him before just couldn't take care of him, or he was a pet for them that their life circumstances couldn't necessarily provide for very long. So he was just taken to the pound, because his family that had him before, their circumstances changed and they couldn't afford to take care of him anymore. So that is the information that I get about the life that he had before he was at the pound. Um, but he's a pretty soft soul. I feel like there was just a lot of like noisy, loud things all the time. People might have been asking a lot of things from him, and he was also younger, so it was hard for him to understand. Um, it was just a lot, and he's a little bit more of a soft soul, if you will. I really hope the bunny thing is real or true because that's just adorable. Eyes are so cute. Well, thank you very much, Beth, for purchasing a pet psychic reading, and I wish you all of the luck with what was his full name? I really like it. Vinny Donut, was it? Vinny Bag of Donuts. Oh, it's so cute. I hope he gets a bag of donuts or dog donuts on his birthday because that would be fabulous. Hello, thank you. We're having a good stream. I think it's been good so far. Steady and quiet, answering questions. Okay, so the next person we have is Jennifer, who has a pet psychic reading as well. And Jennifer, if you're in the chat still, can you please tell me what the first letter of your last name is? And then we'll go from there. I love doing pet psychic readings. You're so right. Logic Lurker says, such logic lurker. Sorry, it sounded like I said liquor. It just let me lick the logic. I'll stop. It was a sweet read. I like doing pet readings. They're fun. I like medium readings too, and I like all the readings that I do. Pet ones are always fun because pets are just they're like little kids. They are so wholesome. Jay says, "Have you ever had the opportunity to talk to a giraffe?" I have had the opportunity. Have I taken it? No. Oh, one of my, like, bucket list items is to go to, like, a sanctuary to talk to elephants. I would need at least 2 to 3 days, first just to, cry because I love elephants so much, but I would love to go to a sanctuary and talk to elephants. I think that would be amazing. Or we did the live stream reading for Gentle Giants draft horses all the way back during, like, holiday season last year, and I think being able to work for or commission out for rescues and things like that might be really, really fun. I don't know necessarily what I could do to help besides give people, like, insight into things, perhaps, um, but I think it would be really cool to work with, like, organizations that are like that as a pet psychic in order to just mediate information, wants, needs, desires, etc., so that animals could be better helped. Let me ask again too, is Jennifer here for their pet reading? Um, if you're here, let me know what the first letter of your last name is, and we will start your reading. And then we also have 2 more readings after this, I believe. Oh, there's only 1 more reading after this. But after Jennifer, there is oh, I'm not gonna say your name. Is it Montse or Mons? And Mons will go next once we can find Jennifer. Jennifer, are you here? Don't make me sing. You'll run away. Well, we'll just wait 1 more minute, and then if Mons is here, you can let me know what the first letter of your last name is in the chat. Oh, Menoy. Got it. Montse. Got it. Perfect. Let me just write your name down really quick. And then if Jennifer doesn't show up after I answer 1 or 2 questions, then we'll just move on to your reading, Monse. Thank you for being so patient. Okay. Let me see. Logic Lurker says, "What is the most memorable, funny thing that has happened during a reading?" The most memorable, funny thing that I'm sure there's a lot of things that are memorable and funny, and I'm just not remembering. But one of the funniest ones was I did a reading for a lovely human being, and her mother stepped in, and her father did too, because they were both passed. And she just wanted to know if they both hung out in heaven together. And the answer was yes. However, the way spirit shows me what heaven is like is so funny. So it's kind of like I like to explain it as a collective lucid dream in which all consciousness that is not earthly is in heaven or in a higher vibration, if you will. So It's also like a mirror image of Earth. So you can choose to reside in a place that existed at a certain place in time energetically. However, you can also have the free will and the energetic ability to manifest your surroundings, kind of like lucid dreaming. Um, so this woman, her mother and her father were like partiers when they were alive. And the one of the ways in which they like to spend their afterlife is hanging out with their friends and hanging out on beaches and partying and things like that. Like they really were just like cool beach bum guys, you know? And the funniest thing though was that her dad was hanging out with like his guy friends. They were drinking beers and I don't know, like Long Island iced teas and golfing on the beaches. And her mom though, her mom would hang out with her dad sometimes, but when they both decided to not hang out together in heaven, her mom told me she showed me all of these, like, little books, like, these little novels, like, small ones kind of, but they're, like, thick, and then she showed me the picture of, like you guys know who Fabio is? He's from all the old, like, na 80s and 90s, maybe 2000s, romance novels. Like, I know romance novels are super, super in right now, but, like, OG romance novels for, like, the at-home housewives from the 90s. And, I just laughed, and she showed me that she was on a boat with, like mind you, this was the soul of this woman's mother. She was on a boat with a man that looked like Fabio, and she was fulfilling the sexy time novel dreams that she had in heaven. And I looked at I her mom showed me all of this, psychically, and then I looked at her and I was like, "Do you know if your mom used to read, like, the sexy time novels?" And she goes, "I knew my mom read them when I got older, because I would find, like, things around the house, and sometimes she asked me, like, once or twice if I wanted to go, like, to a book club or whatever." And she's like, "But I didn't realize until after she passed when I was going through her things how many novels she had." So when I was like, "How many did she have?" She's like, "At least a few boxes worth." And I was like, "Okay, do you want me to tell you this or do you not want me to tell you this? Because they are in heaven, but do you really want to know what they're specifically doing in between?" And when I told her, she was cry laughing. And that was probably one of the funniest, most memorable things. And it was very good. So, um, anyways, Jennifer is here. She's in the chat. Hello, Jen. I see you. Thank you so much for telling me the letter of your last name, and I appreciate you being so patient. And we're going to fulfill your reading now. Oh my goodness. Jay says Harley Quinn novels. um. Okay, so Jennifer has a dog named Bree. Very cute. And she is a big white fluffy Samoan, and she's 12 years old. Oh my goodness. That's awesome that she's 12 years old. Congratulations, Jen. Um, so Jen's question is, does she have anything she wants us to know that we aren't picking up on? Picking up on. Okay. Um, you want to know if her right eye bugs her. The answer to that is yes. Do you know if she scratched her eye or if she has something in it, Jennifer? Because I do think her right eye is bugging her. I don't know if she scratched it on something. Which again, I'm not a veterinarian, so if you think that there could be something wrong, please take her to a veterinary professional that can help. If she scratched, what they'll probably do is what's called like a dye. So they just put like it looks like highlighter fluid actually in your pet's eye to see if there's a scratch anywhere because the dye will be picked up by the scratch and they'll be able to see where it is anywhere in the eye. Um or if there's something else presenting, they'll be able to try and find it, but I do feel like there's something weird with her eye. Oh, I might have been lagging. There's all of these things coming through now. Yes, cornea smear test. Thank you, Jay. Um, so the next question that Jennifer has is, why does she keep sleeping in the basement when we keep trying to get her to hang around closer to us? I think Jen's I think Jen's what is it? Internet is laggy because now she's answering to all of me asking her where she was. She'll read this though. She'll see this. It's okay. We'll work through it. Because some of you are answering in real time, but Jen, I think is back a couple minutes ago. So we'll keep moving on. Jen asks, why does Bree keep sleeping in the basement when we keep trying to keep her to hang around closer to us? So one of the reasons she's sleeping in the basement is because it's quieter and it's colder. So she says she's getting hot a little bit more recently. So that could be because of old age and or because of her breed or the time of year that it is wherever you are, Jennifer. But it's nice and cool and quiet downstairs. So she likes to just go down there now that she's older and have some alone time for herself. Jen says, can anyone see my reply? I submitted a reading for Bree. The last name is G. Jen, I've been answering your questions for the past couple minutes. Let me see if I can respond in the chat. My goodness. Let's see. For a few minutes now, I can see your replies, but I think your video may be lagging on the live stream. Okay, there we go. Thank you all for helping. And Monse is just being so patient. Thank you very much. Oh, this is nice. It says, this is a doodle book for my son that I stole so that I can do notes for readings. But while we wait for a minute, that's funny. So he must have been sitting with my aunt or his aunt, my sister-in-law. Her name's Tessa. He's been sitting with Tessa and it says, Oak is happy. Oak demands that we read the blank pages. That's a fun little thing to get into, right? I didn't know that was there. He's really into drawing right now or trying to draw. He draws scribbles and then goes, look, mama, it's a mountain. And it's like an actual scribble. And I'm like, oh, it's such a mountain. Wow. Jen says, I took myself off Wi-Fi, so maybe I can be up to date. Not sure how to advance. That's okay, Jen. We'll go backwards. So, hopefully we're on the same page right now. So I was talking about Bree, and you can also watch the replay after this too, if you'd like. We're at 1 hour and like 40 minutes is when your reading started. So for Bree, your 12-year-old Samoyed, sorry, I was going to say that wrong. Her right eye does bug her. And I feel like it could be something that's like a scratch on her eye. Again, I'm not a veterinary professional, so if you are bothered or think that there's something wrong with her, I would take her to the vet. I logged off and came back in. Okay, good. If you think there's something wrong with her eye, please take her to the vet so that they can look and make sure that her eye is not scratched. Jay helped me with remembering what it was called. It's called a cornea smear. They just put like a little bit of a like highlighter dye in their eye, basically. It doesn't burn or anything as far as I know. But it'll pick up if there's any scratch, and then the doctor will see what's wrong with her eye or where. But I do think that her right eye is bothering her. So I would take her to the vet just to confirm or deny if there's anything that you need to be aware of. Why is she sleeping in the basement? Jen says, I've been to 2 eye vets and they don't really know what's wrong. It's been that way for years and years. That's so interesting. Have they tried to look, like, behind the eye to see if there might be something behind the eye that's bothering her? Or were they able to see if there's any, like okay, so there's nothing behind the eye. Okay, perfect. Um, I know sometimes animals can have, like, hairs that get stuck in their eyes, or they, like, have ingrown hairs in their eyelids as well. Is that something that could be bothering her too if they've ruled out physiological problems that are, like, around the eye itself? Jen sees, they tell me the only way it could be worked out is if we go to an endocrinologist in West Virginia, and we're in Canada. That's so odd. Why would you have to go to an endocrinologist for an eye? Huh. I might look that up just on my own. That's so odd. An endocrinologist for an eye. Huh. Hmm. Well, no, it has something to do with increased cell growth. Okay, got it. Huh. Exactly, puzzling. We give her a prednisone drop daily to manage. Okay, I understand. Yeah, because it just feels like there's something, like, in the corner of my eye, almost as if it's, like, poking me. And some days, like, when I'm not thinking about it, I'll forget about it, but then as soon as it comes to the forefront of my mind, it's more annoying. So, okay. Well, I do think there is something that she feels, but you're doing what you can to manage it, and that is the most important thing. So why does she sleep in the basement? Um, you said when we keep trying to keep her to hang around closer to us. So it's really cold and it's quiet. I know you said you live in Canada. I'm not sure what part of Canada. That's probably a really good place to have a Samoyed. But she says it's quiet and it's cold down there. So it's just I feel like she gets hot sometimes and now that she's older, she just wants to be by herself sometimes as well. Um She's just getting a little cranky, if you will. So going downstairs where it's cool and quiet is kind of just like her little she shed, if you will. Um, how much does she dislike the cats? Is there a boy cat, Jen? One that's like a tiger stripe or like a stripy cat? Okay, a girl. Is the girl cat stripy? Stripes, 4.5 to 5 years. Sorry, there's a weird noise in my house, and I was just wondering if the cats were underneath the doors, but they're both in here, so there's no reason I should have that weird noise. Anyways, um, okay, so yes, she's stripy because as soon as I asked Bree what cat is the most annoying, she does not like the stripy cat. She really, really thinks they're annoying. She leaves Bree alone, but wishes Bree would acknowledge her. That is so funny. So one thing that I haven't been able to necessarily scientifically have like a rational hypothesis about when it comes to mediumship and psychic abilities is when I do talk to pets. Um, they do have body language and vocalizations that we as humans understand to a certain extent. But the thing that I can't figure out is it the way that they convey things to me. It makes me feel like they actually do talk telepathically to one another. Um, so Bree is probably telling your kitty cat to leave her alone, but the girl's like, "You wanna be best friends? You wanna go hang out? You wanna come eat my food bowl? You wanna come see my food bowl? You wanna go upstairs? You wanna go see this guy?" And Bree's like, "If you don't stop, I'm gonna lose it." And she's like, "Okay," and then she just keeps talking. So she does not like the stripy cat, and it's not because the stripy cat's mean, it's just because she's really annoying to Bree, and Bree is older, and she's like, I don't have time for you right now. Will you stop talking?" Um, And then you answered something about the basement. What did you say? A few years ago, it would come and go. Now it's always foggy. We figured about the basement. Oh, okay, yeah, her eye. Got it, got it, got it. I understand. And you figured about the basement. That's cute. Yeah, she's older. She wants to have her alone time, you know? And she does dislike the cat. I don't think she's gonna do anything besides maybe growl or snap at her to no avail, but it's more of a just like leave me alone, grumpy old lady sort of thing than anything else. Um, and then your first question was, does she have anything she wants us to know that we aren't picking up on? Genji says, that's hilarious. Meanwhile, the cat will announce when Bree wants to come back in the house from the backyard. And she probably hates, though, Bree probably hates when the cat does that. She's like, they will figure it out. I do not need you to talk to me about it. If you could just have like the biggest side eye roll that like stops the rotation of the earth for a little bit, that is how Bree feels about your cat. Um, okay, so do you have a son, Jen? That Bree knows about? He would have been a younger boy if he isn't still a younger boy. Is he, like, at college or something or not around as much? 2 older sons in their 20s. Okay, because there's one of them who I think when he was younger was maybe a little bit more of, like, a quiet boy. I feel like sometimes because he was quiet and more sensitive, he could come off as having more outbursts when he was little. Both are home but working or in school. Okay. Um, I feel like when this boy was younger, when he was probably 7 or 8, he might have had a gray and green, like, striped shirt at one point too, because she's showing me him when he was younger. So if you could figure out which son that is from her description, she just wishes that he could come and give her a little extra love because she really likes him a lot. And she knows that they're busy doing things, but she really wants this one son of yours to come spend some time with her just for a little bit. Rub her head, talk to her a little bit, and then leave, which is very sweet. So I hope that answers your questions, and I appreciate us being able to figure out that we just needed to like log out and log back in. Could be either. One gives her lots of attention and the other is quick. Oh, probably the quick one then. Because I feel like he's always in and out and she wants to see him more. She likes him. Gotcha. Perfect. All right. Well, I'm glad we could figure that out. And I sincerely appreciate you purchasing a little mini pet psychic reading so that I could talk to Bree. She's a good girl. Okay, so this is going to be the last reading of the day from Monse. I hope I'm saying that right. You can tell me again if I am or if I'm not. Let me see. Just make sure those go away so no one else. Oh my goodness, I can do this. I will tell him. Thank you so much. Bree is amazing. My first live stream and didn't know how it worked. Oh, no, it's okay. Let me tell you right now, if I was in a live stream, I would not know how it works either. I'm just on the other end. I would not know how to do it from your end is what I'm trying to say. um I've actually never been in a live stream ever. I've only done live streams. So I think you guys are doing fabulous. um so anyways, okay. No, I appreciate you, Jen. Thank you. You are awesome and very patient. Everyone here is very patient and awesome. That's why I keep doing live streams. For a while, I was worried about doing them on my own because I'd never done it before. and I just didn't wanna be in a situation where people might not be so kind, but since I've started doing live streams again and on my own, everyone has been extremely kind, and I really appreciate it. Alright, Monse, are you here? I forget what your name was, so let me see. I know you said your name. It's somewhere. Also, I look just Bumblebee. I like that your name is just Bumblebee, but then there's numbers behind it, which is also fine, but aha, Manoy! I found you. You're here. Alright, Monse says, for a medium reading, thank you. Hi, I'd like guidance on what I should focus on right now in my life, including my personal growth, school, career path, and any important messages I should be aware of. Okay. Um, I'm just gonna write stuff down for a moment. Um, Monse, do you have a grandmother who's passed who was kind of like eccentric? She would have worn um similar to, I think it was her, let me see. Similar to Christy's mom, I feel like your grandmother would have been very colorful in the way that she dressed as well. Because Christy's mom came forward earlier in a reading and she was wearing a flower powered jumpsuit. Not like flower power, but like flower printed power jumpsuit. Okay. And I also feel like she speaks a different language. It almost sounds like French, but it's not. Okay, your dad's side, but you didn't know her. That's okay. Do you know if she would have spoken a different language? That's was like a romance language, maybe? She died before I got to see her and she spoke Spanish. Oh, okay, got it. Have you ever seen like a picture of her or no? Jayla, I would love to try and answer your question once I finish this one live stream reading with Monse. Because that's a funny question. Jayla says, I'm writing a story about a character who's a medium. Any advice? Also, hi. And then the reason I asked Monse if you um knew what your grandmother looked like is because I figure if you don't, then I can ask other characteristics about her um that you might be able to know about. But you wouldn't because you never met her. She's uh if you know about her and you can confirm this, I feel like she would have wore a lot of jewelry, like big earrings. She might have had like bracelets or bangles because I can hear them. And she's wearing a very like pretty colorful printed dress and it's long, but I see her older. She has tanner skin. She's smaller in frame or stature and she has like medium to short length brown hair. Okay. Sadly never got to know her like that, only spoken. Okay, that's all right. The reason I'm asking this is I feel like there's this grandmother. I'm gonna presume she's on your dad's side because she doesn't argue that she's not. Does your dad have a bigger nose? Is that rude to ask? I have a big nose, so it's not that rude. Yes, okay, because she says your dad has a big nose, but her nose is a little bit smaller, and she didn't get that from him. She got it from he didn't get that from her. He got it from his dad or something, and she's just joking about it because he's very self-conscious about his big nose. That's so funny. I love it. Um, okay, so she's the one that's stepping forward to answer the questions that you've written in your email reading for me. So, you want to know information about personal growth, school and career path, or any important messages you should be aware of. Um, do you have a little sister, Monse? Only 2 brothers. Okay. Do you have a cousin or someone who's a girl that is closer to you, or do you have a cousin who's female that's younger than you that you may be involved with or, like, closer to? I'm not very close to any of my cousins, but I know in other families, cousins can be really close. And if not, that's okay. Not really that I know. I just went to Mexico 2 weeks ago and met them. Oh, okay. Well, this could be you. This could be, possibly one of your cousins that you just met. The only thing is I see a girl who's younger. She has long, dark, brown hair, and uh, she's, like, very petite, if you will. She has a very small she's very small. I feel like she looks like she's, like, 14, but she could be older. She could be older to, like or older to, like, 16, 17, because I feel like she's driving a car. But she looks younger than, she really is, and I feel like in the future, you may need to help her, or she may reach out to you because she needs help, and she'll need your guidance and possibly maybe not necessarily your protection, but your guidance. And the reason I bring this up is because when I read your question that says, "Any important messages I should be aware of?" I see a girl, and she's, getting out of, like, a black sedan, and I feel like she's going to be coming to you or vice versa because she's going to need guidance or help from you, kind of like an older sister. So, do with that what you will. It could be wrong. However, I wanna tell you what I see even if it doesn't make sense or come true because that's my job. Um, and your dad's mom, your grandmother's just talking about it. And the fact that she's in Mexico makes sense because the background looks more like Southern United States to, um, like, Southern New Mexico, Mexico area, just with the background. Okay, moving on to personal growth, school, or career. Are you currently in school right now, Monse? Oh, you transferred college. Okay, cool. Are you going for something that's like, what the United States would call STEM, so science, technology, engineering, or I don't know what the M is, mathematics? Are you going for something that's uh, like engineering or architecture or something that's more scientifically driven? Hopefully. I'm doing business, but I've been thinking about switching my major. Okay. I was going to say business, but to STEM. Because your grandmother shows me, it's just when spirit showed me business, they sort of made me have like a fleeting feeling. So I was like, maybe it's not business. Because your grandmother really shows me that you would excel and do way better than you realize in something like architecture or engineering because you have a very scientific, mathematical, structured brain, if you will, but you're also extremely artistic. And the way that you are able to perceive the world in a more three-dimensional way um, is very, very cool. Like, for example, me, I'm really bad at trying to envision three-dimensional things if I can't physically touch it. um, but you have the brain capacity and abilities to envision something and put it down on paper, which is not necessarily how my brain works. So she shows me that if you want to change your major, I'm not saying that you have to. I'm just saying that your grandmother is showing me that if you change your major to something that's more STEM, whether it be computers or programming, cybersecurity, IT, um, architecture, engineering, stuff like that, biomechanics, even if you wanted to, you would excel in that. It might be challenging because you're going to have to be around other people that also think the same way as you, which is going to dampen how you perceive yourself in comparison to them. But if you're able to not compare yourself to them and sort of learn from them instead of compare yourself, then you would excel in that because you have the artistic and mathematical brain to do so. Logic learner. AI is your friend, though. No, it's not. Unless the only thing I think AI is good for is when I need to make little cute free non copyrighted banners for like Patreon posts. That is it. And I'm a very small creator. I don't think that giant companies that have enough money to commission people for their art should be using AI, but that's just me. In my work, I use it daily coding and checking things. Oh, well, I mean, if it helps like check the things that you're doing for coding, then that might be nice. So, Monse, I hope that helps you with like school or career path. Again, this is just your grandmother's opinion. Just because she's passed doesn't mean that she necessarily has the right answers to everything. This is just what she has to say in relation to you as if she were alive and could talk to you about it. Um, Do you have one last more specific question that I could answer, or was I able to answer the questions that you had to your to the best of my abilities and your what you wanted? I hope Monse still here. How's everyone doing still? Thank you all for being here today. For anyone that has purchased a reading, I sincerely appreciate it. And if you're watching this now and you've never had a reading with a psychic medium, you can purchase a full in like private reading with me if you are so inclined because you don't necessarily want it to be on a live stream. Totally okay. And if you can't, that's okay too. But if you're wondering what it's like to get a reading with a medium that's like me, this is it. I don't my cats are sleeping in the background. I drank some lemonade. All I do is write things down. I know some people have like trepidations about mediums, and that is completely valid and warranted. However, my style of mediumship might be a little bit different. So if that is something that you find intriguing, hi, my name's Liv. um, and Monse says you answered my questions. Thank you. Perfect. I'm glad I could answer your questions. Thank you very much for purchasing a reading with me, Monse, and for being a part of the live stream. You do seem kind of sketchy. Jay, get out of here. You mean sketchy? I'm sorry, I couldn't. This is an oak doodle. There you go. Circa 2026. um Monse says, "This was my first time, so I didn't know what to ask." Well, no, that's okay. You asked good questions, and I appreciate you being open and receptive to a soul who has never, like, you've never met them necessarily before, stepping through. And I would like to tell you too, Monse, since this is your first reading, that it used to bother me when I first started doing readings professionally as to why souls that we don't necessarily have a relationship with come through. And the answer that I've gotten over the years is that because your soul's lives paths haven't crossed, meaning you either didn't live at the same time and or your time together was very short, then those souls therefore have less spiritual bias towards you or for you. Meaning basically because they're less biased about your existence because I didn't get to know you very well or you didn't have a great relationship or they passed before you. Therefore, God, creator, spirit, source, whatever you want to call it, dictates that they have more ability to guide you spiritually, if you will, compared to someone that you had a really good relationship with. So she might have been around for just a really long time, and that's why she's stepping forward. So if you ever want to talk to her outside of having a mediumship reading too, you can also do so. Never let anyone on the internet that is a psychic medium or claims to be whatever say that you need them or someone that's like a medium in order to communicate with your past loved ones because that's not true. The only thing a medium's here to do is to tell you what they have to say back. You can always talk to your past loved ones because they know, see, hear, and feel everything. Whether they be a pet or a person, you can always talk to them. The only thing a medium is going to do is tell you what they have to say back to the best of our abilities. You never need a medium to talk to them is my biggest thing. So I hope that helps. Genji says, I forgot, did Bree's teeth bug her at all? Totally understand if I'm too late to ask. No, it's okay. I feel like she has like two ouchier spots in her mouth. One is on the left-hand side and it's up top, sort of not necessarily up front, but closer to the middle up front. And then she has another spot on her right-hand side that bothers her. It's like the top and the bottom. I don't know if she might have a little bit of tartar on the bottom tooth, and then the top tooth is the one that's a little ouchy. But it's nothing terrible. If you want the vet to look at it to see if that could help, maybe she might need like some tartar reduction or anything that they could do. I don't know how much they could do since she's 12 and veterinarians for dogs and cats usually use like anesthesia for teeth cleaning and things like that. I don't know what they could do since she's 12 because there's implications with anesthesia when you have an older pet. However, if you want to add hot water to her food, and make a little bit of a gravy and let it sit for a second so it softens up, that should help her. So I hope that answers your question, Genji. Again, it's like her eye bothers her, but it's not terrible. Um, it's definitely less bothersome than her eye, if you had to compare to the two. So, anyways, thank you all so much for being here. I think a listener's story is going to come out on the PsycKicks podcast next because I'm trying to get into the transition of the stuff that I have planned for maternity leave. I have a collaboration. Um, I want to revisit the topic of spirit guides for you all because I know I said months ago that I was going to do that, but then I had other collaboration opportunities and just, life gets ahead of you. So I've been kind of saving that a little bit and trying to figure out how I want to really structure that as a podcast and a video as well. And then there may, emphasis on may, there may be a podcast where my husband's going to be a guest on. I don't think he wants to be in the YouTube video, but he said he'll definitely be on the podcast. I just have to research the topic that I want to talk about with him and then get him to actually sit down and find the time with our son. Um, but yeah, that's the stuff that's coming out on PsycKicks. I also want to try and do a couple more reaction videos again. I stopped doing them because one, it's hard to try and do reaction videos when it comes to like fair use, if you will. Um, and YouTube has been a little more strict on fair use rules. And I also don't want to structure, what was it? I don't want to structure reaction videos where it's taking away from the creator. Does that make sense? And I feel like sometimes when you do reaction videos, that can happen, and that's not at all what I wanna do. So I really wanna make sure that I find a reaction video or video to react to that would be different and cool, um, and good for you guys to also practice your psychic abilities along with me. But I want to really focus on having people watch their video first and then come watch my reaction video. So, anyways, I've just been trying to find the balance between all of those things, but that is what is going to be coming um, from Meta Psychics on YouTube and on the podcast. And, Patreon stuff is still going. Oh, again, if you guys are interested in readings too, because I know some of you said like you don't have the money for it, which I totally understand. I very, 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 very much understand. Um, if you join Patreon though, and you are a member of Akashic Castle or higher, which is the third tier for $15 a month, I do monthly live stream readings over Zoom. So it's like a group reading. There's other people that are patrons that are at the readings, but for $15, you could have your reading with me. So, anyways, I've been trying to do better at marketing myself, but I also don't want to like over market myself. Does that make sense? Like when you get online and it just feels like everyone's always trying to sell you something. I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to try and be like cost effective and also smart too, because this is a business, but it's also not like a racket. um Just says, "Thanks, Liv. You are great. A real one. You feel sincere." Thank you. I try to be sincere. I feel like sometimes my facial expressions are a little weird, but that's just my face. And I'll catch it when I'm on a live stream or when I'm recording and I'm like, "Wait, that facial feature like expression should not be coming out based on the things that you're talking about," or I'm just really tired. I know it sounds silly because my son's almost 2.5 or is 2.5, but I just stopped nursing him. He was like 2 years, maybe 4 months or 2 months when I stopped nursing him because my midwives told me that I should stop nursing him before the second trimester of this pregnancy because nursing is linked to oxytocin and pitocin, which also are linked to contractions and things like that. So I have been nursing him for a while, and now just being pregnant again, I've been tired. So I try to come off as I feel like some of my videos and some of the podcasts recently have reflected my tiredness. And I wish they wouldn't, but that's okay. C'est la vie. It is what it is. I want you to know that content will still be coming out to the best of my abilities while I'm on maternity leave. If you want to ensure, if you really do or are thinking about joining Patreon in order to sit down and have like a little reading with me with the rest of the Patreons in a group over Zoom, if you want to invest that $15, and then you also have other things, you can read it on the Meta Psychics Patreon. It's in the description below. You'll have other benefits too. But I will be going on maternity leave most definitely the second week of June, because that's when my baby is due, and I won't be back until probably the second or third week of August. So if you really want to do that and are looking to save money to have that experience, I would probably say you could either do it now until June, or you can save up $15 for the month. And if you're interested in a reading like that, then I would purchase it after maternity leave, which is going to be August, September, because I don't want to be gone. I won't be doing live streams at that point, but other content will be coming out. So just so that you can understand, um, you know, where and when to spend your hard-earned cash if you so choose. And I'm writing down really haunted because I've heard about really haunted, but I haven't researched or seen any of their things yet because someone said, I'm dying to know what you think about really haunted. Um, Jayla says, I'm scared to get a reading for a reason. So, well, you don't have to get a reading if you don't want to. You can also just come to a live stream like this and see other people's readings. Or if you want to be a patron and read spooky stories and see behind the scene videos and read my bi-weekly life updates, and then just sit in on a monthly group reading, then that's totally cool too. I won't make you do anything you don't want to. I'm not here for that. Unless it's eating your veggies. Anyways, thank you all so much for being here. And then, Jayla, I'm sorry I didn't get to answer your question about writing a book about a medium, but perhaps at the next live stream, if you come back, I can answer that question for you, because being a psychic medium is interesting, and it's a lot more normal than you think. So, thank you all so much for being here, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your week and weekend. And I'll see you next time. Peace out, guys. Bye. Oh, and then I can never remember how to end it. How do I do this? Oh, nope. Deny. Oh no, we're gonna do this again. I know I did this last week too. You'd think I'd be better at this. Oh no. See, for any of you that are in here right now, and you're like, oh, I've never had a live stream before. I didn't know what I was doing. I don't know what I'm doing either. Oh, there it is. They should make it a red button. It's all the way up at the top hand right, and it's a black and white button that says end stream, because YouTube just never wants me to leave. Anyways, okay, bye.